Alright, so I just finished the write-up for day 14 and I'm going to give you a little break. It says, congratulations, you've made it to the end of week 7. Homework and classwork amnesty ends tomorrow, Friday morning, so I'm going to go light on you here. So all you have to do is, I want you to do code. All you need to do is code up at least 3 examples that demonstrate concepts covered in the lecture for today. So JavaScript, the weird parts, did comparison operators, talked a bit about default values and how it's used in frameworks. So I definitely could see a fairly easy way to do default values in your app. But again, I'm going to let you choose how you want to do this. And you can either do this in a different file or you can do this in your app.js. So just tell me, and by the way, push like normal, but just tell me in your submission where your code is so I don't have to go looking for it. But I also wanted to show you that I spent some time today implementing the rest of my site. So here is the state of the state right now. So login works, join works, right? So, but when you log in, if you don't have a correct login, you get login not successful, okay? And then when you click join, that goes away so that you can then place that correctly in there. Cool. And then now, probably one of the biggest differences now is I've implemented on login a couple of things, okay? So one thing, and this is the part I'm going to work on, but as soon as the user logs in, watch what happens, is that all that goes away, okay? And I get a log out button. And over here, welcome back, are you sure this is Rio? And this is where I went ahead and implemented the add event listener. Definitely this is really where I'll spend some time doing that. So I'll show you that code in a minute. But just to show you, I did a log out, which allows it to go back. So how did I do this? So in my code, first I just implemented the straight code that it had in the MDN, but I did change the text, okay, so that when you had that. So there was nothing really different here. So let me just go down and show you how I implemented. So on the login, what I did is I've been using this feature for a while, so I see this quickly coming to an end, and this is the way we're showing and hiding things on the page. But for now, it worked as far as my page went. So on successful login, in addition to making the content, so I called the content that was there by default future user, and so I made that not visible. And this is to show, in this case, not visible, the L content. So what that was is the content over in here, left side, and then I made a display user, okay, and I made that visible by making it show because by default it's not visible. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see that, we'll scroll down through here and see. Right, so here's the display user, right? So that's there as far as my div that I placed into here with my table. But what I was really showing you was the idea of the log out button, which I think, where did I put that? Let me just find it real quick. Oh, here it is. That's right, it's up on this side. So I just added a div. Now, what I did to make it log out is I took advantage of that feature that we got around on the return. So I just put a form and then put a form, sorry, on the form submit, I just put quotes so that I knew it would refresh the page. So probably not the best, but at least it worked. Okay, so that's how I implemented what I have so far. So definitely my next step, now that I have most of it working here, is welcome back. I'll need to then add the username into here. And then, right, so that's the idea of it clicking, it responding to the clicks. But if you think about this, the one thing that doesn't make sense about this is what's the visual cue, right? What's the visual cue that somebody would have to know to click on that? So the implementation into MDN just showed you the standard implementation, not standard, but an implementation that was simple. But if you really think about it in the context of a web app or a website, it doesn't make sense because you would need to somehow clue the user that that was true. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually think about how I would actually make this a really working example. And I'm going to work on that next. So just wanted to give you an update about where I was with my development. Talk to you tomorrow.